her. So.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, she's in bed now. It's late now, she's already asleep.
Well, it still happened though, right?
Yeah. I just, the whole point, I just wanted you guys to come over and talk to her. I mean, I just want her to realize what this was. I mean, in reality, there's not much you guys probably can do about it, is there?
I mean, she could probably get charged with child porn.
Who, she can?
Mm-hmm.
She's 11 years old.
She's creating it, right?
She's 11 years old.
Doesn't matter. She's still making porn.
No, she's not. She's being manipulated by a grown-ass adult on the
Is she
internet.
taking pictures though?
You guys have a nice evening.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. Are you serious? Have a nice evening.
Hey, what's up, people? Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Want to talk about this video that you just seen. Basically, this happened in Columbus, Ohio. A man finds out that his daughter is being manipulated into sending child pornography, basically. Sending, obviously, explicit pictures of his 11-year-old daughter. She's sending them to some predator, some online predator. All right. So he calls the cops. I think he called them earlier in the day. They did not show up until late night, around midnight. Okay. They get there, as you see in the video. Instead of trying to find out who could have been doing this, who has probably been doing it to other young girls and even probably young boys, they want to threaten this man to charge his 11-year-old daughter with sending child pornography. Their inquiry wasn't, hey, you know what? Yes, could we talk to her? Could we see her phone to try to figure out who this person is trying to solicit naked pictures of your daughter? No. These cops went in there with one sole purpose. Okay. And I want to explain that in this video and kind of where it comes from. Cops aren't your friend, okay? Cops only want to put you in cuffs and put you in the back of that car, okay, for their quota. And if they can get an 11-year-old girl, enter her into the system, they've done their job tremendously, you know. People probably ask, oh, well, you know, why would officers want to do that? The state is a state, whether it's local police, city police, sheriffs, correctional officers, state police, does not matter. Okay. They have a system set up where they want people entered into their system because the likelihood of a child being in their system, reoffending and going to prison as an adult is very, very high, which keeps the prisons full. A lot of people don't recognize that. Actually, back in, I'd say about 20 years ago, here in California, when they were trying to undo the 3 strikes law, these people who ran prisons, especially private prisons, hired these lobbyists to basically go to Sacramento and have it where you could have more canine officers in schools. And, you know, rather than just sitting the canine officer there at the door and making sure, you know, maybe, you know, doing their air scan of any drugs or anything like that, what they would do is this canine officer would grab a bunch of his fellow officers and he would basically raid the entire school. Okay. And this didn't just happen at one school. It happened at many schools. And so they would go through and, you know, and they'd find little stuff. I mean, you know, a little pot or whatever. I'm not saying it's okay and they should get in trouble for it, but it should be dealt with not by police, but by parents and staff at that school. But instead, they ended up arresting like 4 or 5 kids and charged them. Okay. And it came to find out later on is like, oh, well, who put these officers up to that? The Bureau of Prisons, California Department of Corrections, they're lobbyists. If we can get them into the system, then the chances of them being in the system as an adult are very, very high. And that's what we want, because we want the prisons full so that these correctional officers can have job security. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to this video. This officer, you know, and what's crazy is it looks like Brianna Strauss. You know, if we all remember Brianna Strauss, the ranting and raving Federal Way police officer who basically said that she could do whatever she want. This woman that was at the door, I mean, you could hear her tone. I mean, was not the well-being of the child and trying to figure out who this predator was. It was, well, you know, she could be charged with this. Come on, get the fuck out of here. What is your problem? That's the problem with these cops, these officers. Like, how is it that this man who was worried about his daughter, and one thing I could say is that he should have hopefully got on his daughter about that. You know what I mean? And that's his job as a father, to let this child know that what she did was wrong, and it is very, very, very serious. What I think he wanted was to scare her a little bit with the police. Now, he basically reached out for help, and instead of these officers coming and helping, what they do, all they did was pretty much threaten the livelihood of his daughter, you know, which, you know, would have hurt him and the mother, the parents, you know what I mean? This is the attitude of all police officers when they get to your spot. And that's what I tell people. Like, I don't feel safe, and I don't feel safe for my wife calling the cops no more, because my wife carries a gun. And if they happen to ask, well, do you have any weapons on you? Like, and even though there's no reason for it, if she calls for help, they're going to ask her that. You know, she's probably listed in a system before they get there that, hey, you know what, this woman has a firearm, and they're scared. They're cowards. They get spooked easily of firearms, which is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? You know, if there's a suspect with a gun, I get it. But if it's a normal Joe off the street, come on, there's no need for all that. So, but yeah, this video is very disturbing. And, you know, I mean, okay, yeah, you know what? You know, a child sending that, yeah, could definitely get charged, because it's happened before. That's the problem. It's happened before. And that's why that law needs to change. Okay. They've charged children with child pornography, and it's just ridiculous. You know, I mean, people don't realize, you know, that enacted that law where they could charge children with that, is that these children are going to have to, it mars their adulthood by having to have them register as a sex offender. Come on now, really? I think it should be dealt with in home, and it should not be charged, because they charge children with felonies, and that's crazy. You know what I mean? But in this instance, you know, what do we do here? Like, you know, this is the mindset of police, is go respond to a call and look at everybody as a suspect. That's how they're taught. That's how they're trained. They go in thinking that everybody wants to kill them. And that's part of the problem, where they think they can draw their firearm out and shoot. And this dad was right to be like, hey, you know what, y'all have a good night. Have a good night. You know, I'm out of here, you know? And, you know, it's just these officers' mindset is just, it astounds me. It really does. It really does. And when is it ever going to change? Probably never, honestly. I mean, they're not really held accountable. Out of all the incidences that happen, they're just never held accountable. So, but I want to do a quick video on this, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And everybody, I appreciate you tuning in. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Have a blessed day.